Hi, welcome to Julie's Rich Life, where I'm going to talk about teachers being millionaires. I am a teacher. I teach toddlers, and my husband is also a teacher, and he teaches middle school. Stay till the end of this video if you want to hear a funny story about this guy. So in 2017, 2018, Ramsey Solutions, in partnership with others, did a study of millionaires in the United States, and they were surprised to find, and I think a lot of Americans and beyond America were surprised to find, who made the list for people in America that become millionaires. Now, some of the professions weren't surprising. Like, I don't think the profession of lawyers being millionaires was too surprising. Accountants, I don't think that is too surprising, because obviously they would be good with money and know how to take advantage of tax strategies and everything. Management, now management is kind of loose, what does it mean to be a manager? So that could be managers at lots of different places, but being in management, that's not too surprising. And probably engineers. A lot of people are trying to get their children to be engineers. It's probably not surprising that they would be millionaires. But teachers being on the list of the top 5 professions, I think, surprised a lot of people. And my husband and I were both teachers when that study was done. And I thought, I'd never really thought about my net worth too much. I was trying not to have debt and stick within my budget, but I hadn't really thought about net worth too much. And when I did, start looking at what was possible on our incomes and where we were and where we were headed, I did see, actually, at least by the time we're close to retirement, and I hope to retire when I'm 56. My husband wants to retire when he's 62. Hopefully before or when we are retiring, we are actually going to be millionaires. Now, the definition of millionaire is your total assets minus your liabilities. And so that got me really thinking a lot about the teachers we knew. And, you don't discuss finances with your friends, but a lot of them did seem to be retiring like as soon as they had full pension and as soon as they could get, that all desired health care from Medicare. I thought, okay, what is it about teachers that makes them one of the top 5 professions of being millionaires? If you've been alive for more than a second, you probably know teachers don't really have a big income. And, I always joke that my husband is my sugar daddy because he's a public school teacher, whereas I'm teaching toddlers, which is really more people think of as childcare, though we're teaching them how to be humans, which is really important. But I digress. But anyway, neither toddler teachers nor middle school teachers are known for making a lot of money. But I have some thoughts as to why teachers did make it into those top 5 professions of millionaires. And the first is probably pretty obvious, and that is that teachers believe in the power of education. We believe that you can learn how to do things and then you can go do them. So we believed we could learn how to get out of debt. We believed we could learn how to pay off our house early. We believed we could learn how to invest, and if we needed help, we believed we could learn how to find someone to help us invest. So just that belief that knowledge is a key to improving your life, including your financial situation, I think is ingrained in teachers, hopefully, obviously, that we know the power of education. So that's the first reason. I just think there's, culture among teachers, a belief in teachers, that you can learn how to make yourself a millionaire, and that is what my husband and I have done, and a lot of other teachers obviously have done. The second reason, I think, is that teachers do think about the future. When I'm in my classroom, or my husband is in our classroom, we are present with our students, but we're also thinking about our futures. But we're also thinking about the future. We're thinking about preparing them for the future on a day-to-day, year-to-year basis. How are we preparing these children for not only to do well in the present, but to do well in the future? So there's just this part of, teacher life, is that we are thinking about the future. The children are our future. Also, we have a future, and in that future, it's real, and we're going to be in the future. And wouldn't be nice to have enough money to live in the future and be able to retire in the future. So I think that future-focused mind shift that's common among teachers helps us plan and strategize and really think the future is really coming and we better be prepared for it. So that's the second reason I think that teachers made it to this list of the top 5 professions for millionaires. And my third reason that I think teachers are pretty likely to be millionaires is that they aren't pressured to spend as much money, and we've got to spend, within our means if we're going to retire or be millionaires. And there's just not a culture with teachers or an expectation from society like, you're a teacher, why don't you own a Lexus, where, that might be the case if you're a doctor. For example, there's not pressure to own fancy houses or expectation that we should own super fancy houses, although we have quite a suitable, nice house. There's not pressure, for those fancy cars or big elaborate vacations. There's not pressure to wear super fancy, we have to dress nicely for work, but we don't have to have designer clothing or top brand clothing that other people who are maybe like in sales also, I'm thinking pharmaceutical rep, they might need to look, really nice and spend a lot of money. So there's just not pressure from our colleagues or expectation, from like student families that, I'm going to pull up for a home visit in a super fancy car ride. We're expected to just be practical. And so we don't feel that external pressure, from people, hey, you make a lot of money, why don't you drive a nicer car, or send your kids to more expensive schools, or have a nicer house, or, come on that vacation with us. We just don't have that as teachers. So a lot of people were surprised that, doctors didn't make it on the list of the top 5 professions, and that could be because of that peer pressure to spend all the money they make. But another reason I think is that to become a teacher, especially now with a teacher shortage, you don't have to spend as much on college tuition. If you want to go to be a teacher, basically, you're going to be able to go to community college for 2 years, like we did, and then go to a state school for 2 or 3 years. And that's a lot more affordable than, having to spend years and years and years and years to become a doctor. So our purchase price to get into the profession is lower. There's not, pressure to go to more expensive schools or a need to go to more expensive or private schools to get a job. You can work your way a little bit through college and know that you're going to be able to find a job. So the ticket to join the profession is cheaper, and therefore there's less money up front, and also your student loan bill is going to be quite a bit lower than, say, if you're, an anesthesiologist or surgeon or some kind of doctor. Can take years and years to pay off your loan doing that. And also, just starting as a doctor, like a general practitioner, you look up the average starting salary. So it's not as much as you might have been led to believe. And so you couple that with, $300,000, $400,000 in student loans by the time you're done with medical school. It can take a while for you to crawl out of that hole. So I'm very appreciative of any doctors that are watching that you have made that commitment to humanity and done that. It's specific to teachers, at least in our state, because in our state, all the school districts are part of the state retirement systems. But it's that you are forced to save into your retirement account. So it was 3% when we started, and then you could choose different amounts, and there's different kind of accounts you can save into. But we were automatically signed up to save into our 403b, and because teachers have that, not 401k. And so that just automatically gets you thinking about retiring, and we did save more than that 3%. We never actually saved, and I don't know how we would have because I chose to stay home with our children, but we never actually saved more than 8% until the last few years, and now we're up to over 15% between the two of us, 15% of our take-home pay into retirement accounts. But anyway, that kind of forced savings, I think, helps teachers get thinking about retirement early, and even that 3%, even if you didn't add to it, could help you on that path to being a millionaire. Another nice thing about teachers is that we have access to retirement planning for free through the union. Love or hate unions. It's very helpful if you're part of one. There's all kinds of ways we can save money, getting wills and things like that, but we do have access to free retirement planning, and that is certainly helpful. Now, one thing maybe you thought I would say was that teachers become millionaires because of pensions. I do not think that is true at all. We are going to be thankful that we have a small pension. It definitely doesn't cover close to what you were making. You have to save if you're going to retire as a teacher in modern times. The pension's not going to cover even close to your cost of living. And though I am grateful, I don't think actually a pension is a great benefit in any job, and I'm thinking about making a video about why that is, so let me know if you think that's a good idea to make that. So those are the reasons I think that teachers are likely to become millionaires and why they made that top 5 profession list for millionaires in the United States. And I'll link that study below. If you're a teacher or you're married to a teacher and you have other thoughts on why teachers are likely to become millionaires, please do let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's some things I haven't thought of. And I did want to just talk about this cup. I don't know. I think it's funny. So about 5 years ago, I got this exact same cup, and I looked at it and I opened it. I just had to laugh because it's a beautiful cup. I love it. I was appreciative of it, don't get me wrong. But I just thought it was really funny that it said like teacher, not #1 teacher, favorite teacher, great teacher, awesome teacher. Just here's a cup I'm giving you to acknowledge the profession you're in. You are a teacher. And so I just thought that was really funny. I used the cup for many years, and unfortunately it broke because it was one of my favorite cups. And then this year my husband got the same mug. And so now my husband and I have both had the gift of acknowledging you are a teacher. That is your profession. All right, thanks for watching. Here's a video that YouTube thinks you will like, and here is a video that I think you might like. All right, take care. Bye.